My name is Mark Techmeyer. I'm Director of Public Affairs for the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office. I appreciate you guys continuing to meet with us so we can share information with the community on the Quarry Fire. Updates for this afternoon. We've been at 472 acres since yesterday. That's what we're reporting, rather. We know we're a little higher today. We don't have the flyover to give us our updated number. Most of the increase today came from our efforts on that west side that we were trying to burn back today. So with that though, I'm very excited to announce that we went from 20% containment to 35. So it's great progress. We're excited about that. Yesterday, late in the day, we took two neighborhoods, Deer Creek Mesa and Kester, and took them from mandatory evacuation, a step down to pre-evacuation. And with that, we got families back in a little bit over 200 homes yesterday. So it's really good progress on that. We turned the power off to a part of the area, and it's mainly to protect the lines in the area that we're burning on that west side. That power outage should not affect anyone that's in a pre-evacuation area. So we're going to get that work done tonight and tomorrow, as long as the weather cooperates, and we are hopeful to have that power switched back on tomorrow. And when I say switch back on, I want to be clear, it's not like somebody's at a monitor and pushes the button. It takes workers to climb poles and change transformers, etc. But we're hopeful for tomorrow. It should not affect many, if at all, homes that are not in the mandated evacuation area. Got good rain here today, and it was pretty exciting, but after evaluation, it really had no effect on the fire one way or the other. So that's good and bad. We'd love to say, well, that helped us on the bump up and get this thing settled down. But the flip side is, too, we're trying to burn that west side. So give and take. It was a nice refresher, but no effect on the fire. We still have a lot of animals, larger animals, being housed at the fairgrounds. Our sheriff, Reggie Marinelli, was actually out there working and helping clean up some of the barns today. And we're still encouraging people, if you need to do something with the larger animals, they are there to help. Tomorrow, we'll be going from twice a day on the press conferences to one a day, and it will be at 2 o'clock. I'm finalizing the location, but we have to move from here. There's some events happening towards Lockheed Martin, and we need to clear this roadway out. So I'll be tweeting out where that's going to be tomorrow at 2 p.m. Questions, please. Any questions?
For the incoming weather, did wind have any sort of impact on your firefighting efforts?
It didn't. We are, of the upcoming weather forecast tonight, tomorrow, the things we are most worried about is not the rain, but it's going to be the shifting winds. So we just got to keep a close eye on that. But today it did not.
Any timeline on when other evacuated neighborhoods will be moving to pre-evacuation status?
It really depends on our success rate on that western side that we're trying to burn out. That's the key to this. And we've got a good line around it. We just got to have the ability to get it burned out, not take down any power poles, things of that nature. So we're hopeful to turn the power back on tomorrow. A lot of that burnout's already been done underneath the power lines, so it shouldn't be a big lift. And if weather cooperates tomorrow, we are at, yesterday I checked, I haven't checked again today, but we're like 48% chance of precipitation tomorrow. What that looks like and against the fire, I don't know. We'll just have to see how it plays out.
Does that impact aerial drops?
Well, there's a couple of things about that. When you say aerial drops, you mean water?
Yes.
It could keep helicopters from flying, but then again, if it's raining heavy, may not need that. May not need that.
Any update on the arson investigation?
Nothing I can share. We're working it. We want this person as bad as everyone.
Could you go over the crews again that you have, like how many firefighters you have and how
Yep. We've got 190 boots on the ground today. We have 14 engines on the fire and one bulldozer. Number of agencies is a lot. We're still approaching 20 agencies that are here assisting on the fire. So it's an absolute group effort on this.
Can you talk to us about how crews were feeling when that rain was coming down, hoping that it might help in this fight?
I think, it's there's an old saying that when it rains, some people just get wet and other people feel the rain. I think today that we had some firefighters that felt the rain. They've been very hot for a long time, right? So it probably was very, very refreshing. Although it ended up not really having an effect on the fire, I think it probably helped morale quite a bit. Yes, ma'am.
Have you had any more firefighter injuries or exhaustion?
Very proud to say no. We've had some heat issues yesterday and the day before, but in this terrain, in this type of conditions, we had the 4 heat exhaustions, we had a seizure, we had 2 sprained ankles. Folks, that's pretty good. We'd like to say we had no injuries, but when you have this many firefighters on the ground for this many hours in that terrain, we're pretty fortunate.
For families who haven't picked up their cards yet from Dakota Ridge High School, is that still being allowed over there today?
That was over today at 3 o'clock, but let's talk about that a second. We had Saturday, yesterday from 10 to 3, and then when he extended again last night from 5 to 8 because of the lowering of those 2 subdivisions, right? We wanted to make sure those people were able to get in last night. And then again today from 10 to 3. We had 1,055 credentials issued over these past 2 days. It's pretty good. Now, with that being said, that's about a third of the 3,700 people that have been affected by this fire. So we also have people, not only the mandated areas, but we have some people from pre-evac areas picking up just to have them in case they feel like they need them. A lot of progress made there. So what I don't want people to do is panic if they weren't able to pick up their credentials and they're in a mandatory evacuation area. We will work with them. They can go to the evacuation center any day this week and pick up a card if they need. And we're going to be flexible as this thing gets to a point where we open it up to make sure that people can get back home and we maintain protection for those residents. To be clear, when we get everyone back in there, we're holding those roadblocks for at least a couple of days. We don't want anyone interfering with the residents trying to move back home with their trailers, with their campers, with themselves, and to have some privacy back in their home without anybody wanting to tour the area, anything like that. So we're making progress, gang, and we're really, really, I won't even say optimistic, we're really happy where we are. A week ago, almost a week ago now, looked like a whole different situation last Wednesday and Thursday. So everything's worked out in our favor, and we're going to get this thing done.
Can you talk more about the area that you're focusing on and why your firefighters are focusing on that area?
There's a west section of this connected right to the west of the burn area that is open space, so there's no homes there. Hasn't been mitigated in a long time. There's a lot of fire fuel there, and it is extremely steep. Very, very difficult for boots on the ground to actually fight a fire there. No one's saying this, no one said this that I've heard, but it's kind of like a no man's land for a firefighter to try to get up there and have an effect on putting a fire out. So we are basically burning that area to bring it under control. When a fire is on a mountain or a steep climb like this, it climbs. That's what fire does. So what we're doing, we've got a big line dug around it. We've got a bulldozer line back on the south side of it. Got it really well contained, and we are burning it from the top back so that if you go at the bottom, it could get out of control. So we're burning it slow and methodically back. And once we have that done, it will really open up for mandatory evacuations being lifted.
How much longer do you anticipate those?
Day or two. That's what we're hopeful for. Again, it depends on weather. If we get really like monsoonal rains tomorrow, that could be great on the rest of the fire, but it's going to really hamper our ability to burn back what we need to. So we'll just have to play it by ear and see how it works.
I apologize if you've said this in past press conferences, but how do you feel personally about the progress you guys have made? I mean, 35% is awesome, and you guys prevented crossing the road. So, how do you guys feel about that?
Well, I'm incredibly proud of the work that's been done. Our firefighters are amazing. When you've got this many agencies coming together, remember, close to 75% of these are volunteer firefighters. In this terrain, folks, it was concerning last week of how effective we could be and how quickly we could be, and these guys tore it up. We got 2 hotshot crews on there, and hotshot crews are cool, and it's kind of the sexy thing with firefighting. We say it's like the SWAT of firefighters, and they are amazing. This is what they're trained to do. These are the guys that go in this territory and take care of business. But that does not take away from the work being done by our professional paid firefighters and the volunteers. So many. If I started mentioning names like West Metro or Evergreen or Aspen was in here yesterday, I would be taken away from all the other agencies, right? But they've all just really taken care of business.
When you talk about the agencies, you're talking about the different locations of the fire departments?
Yes, ma'am. The fire departments that have come in to aid Intercanyon, and that's what these fire districts do. We live in Colorado. This type of land, one little fire district with mainly volunteers are not going to be able to manage a wildland fire. When it comes, everybody's got to come running, and it's an amazing culture and an amazing group of people that are in that business that take care of one another. Very neat to be part of and to witness as we speak. So folks, thank you very much. Tomorrow, 2 o'clock, I'll be tweeting out the information on location.